So it's just come out that Joey Richards has requested to be traded to Port Adelaide. John Noble's reasons for leaving. Let's talk about it. It's currently 1 a.m. in Scotland. I was just at karaoke. I should be asleep right now, but the news broke, so I finished my drink, came back down here to my hostel, and want to talk about what's happening. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And also, sorry for the angle because I left my stand upstairs and it's too late to go get it. So, okay, now let's really get into it. So trade period just opened. So it opened, what's the time? It opened like 2 hours ago, not even, so 11 a.m. And Joe Richards was the first cab off the rank to be requested to be traded. And he wants to go to Port Adelaide. And my first, you know, my first thought was, that sucks, especially with Craig McRae just recently coming out and saying at the BNF, there's many more years to come in a Collingwood jersey if he wants to, sort of thing. And we thought, is it a plea or is it a hint? It was more of a plea. So Joey had made up his mind. Port Adelaide's got that 3-year offer. We had the 2, then we give him the 3. A little bit too late. On one hand, he's played 9 games, an exciting forward, and someone that could have been in our forward line for years and years and years to come. I get that he's behind a couple of players at the moment, but like Elliott's probably retiring at the end of next year, so if he could have just waited a little bit, he could have gotten so much more game time. Can Port Adelaide really promise him all of that forward game time? With Charlie Dixon gone, maybe we can take Ollie Lord, but like that's probably not going to happen. But can they offer him that forward line? I really don't know. Maybe you guys know a little bit more about Port Adelaide's forward line than I do, so let me know down below. But it sucks. It really does, because now who's that sort of forward that we have that can come in? Because Harvey Harrison has done his ACL. So who else have we got? No one really. You would think that maybe we go to the draft really late on. Is there someone else that we can bring in? Am I really forgetting anyone? I don't really think so. So you would hope, fingers crossed, that there's no real big injuries, because we don't have that small forward replacement unless we're looking for a delisted free agent, unless we're looking for an SSP, supplementary, the supplementary pick. Maybe there's someone, but it just doesn't sit right with me that he's leaving after 9 games and after giving him the chance as a mature age from Wangaratta. We gave him that chance, and now, but power to him. Good luck, Joey. All the best. I hope Maynard cleans you up when we play you. But no, definitely all the best. Good luck with your football career, because that's incredible that you're playing and they've given you this offer. Go do what you need to do. Get that bag, bud. But on the other hand, now this gives us such a good leg up with Dan Houston, because oh boy, we could really put in Richards for the Dan Houston trade. I don't want these to be separate. I don't want it to be, Joe Richards for a 3rd rounder and then Dan Houston is something else. I want it to be pick 13, Joe Richards, a future second or something like that for Dan Houston, and a future second as well. I think Joe Richards needs to be in this deal. It could be a 3-way deal potentially, and we'll talk a little bit about John Noble in a second. But I think that the Dan Houston deal needs to be with Joe Richards. It's just the only thing that makes sense. Now, John Noble, 2 things about him. First thing is, Scott Lucas came out and said that he's leaving pretty much because of job security. He's got anxiety about not being picked and being picked, and he played 80 straight games and missed the 2023 final series. I'd love a little bit more clarity from the club and from Craig McRae about that, about why he was dropped. I feel like John Noble, when he plays well, he plays really well. But there are some things, and I've said it before in a previous video, just Nobleisms. You can't really trust him in high critical positions with the ball. Sometimes he just does 1 or 2 things a game that leads to goals and turnovers and stuff like that. So maybe that's why he wasn't picked. And that's why he wasn't picked for the grand final either. But hurt to hear as well, because he did play 20 games this season, and he was good off the half-back line, was chosen over Markov for most of the times. But yeah, he's definitely leaving us, of course. Collingwood, and I've written this on crayon because I've left all my notepad upstairs as well. Collingwood at the moment are asking for picks 13, 23, 29, and they want to send over Noble and a future first round pick. There's going to be some negotiating. It's probably not going to be exactly that, but I like the thought of Noble and a future first round pick for that pick 13 and pick 23. If we could get that, that would be a steal. That goes straight to Dan Houston and Port Adelaide. We get Dan Houston. John Ralph is reporting that Collingwood are leading Dan Houston at the moment, leading in front of what's their faces, Carlton, which is really good because we've got Noble. Noble is that little Easter egg that goes to Gold Coast, gets us pick 13, gets us pick 23, and you got to remember that our future first round draft pick, we kind of like Gold Coast at the moment with pick 13, we don't need to use it for Tommy McGuire next year because we'll get points in future seconds, future thirds, etc., etc. So we don't really need that at the moment. So that's going to be really, really interesting as well. 13, 23, and 29 is a huge thing, but I like Leppich is like, hang on, let me cook, let me do something here. And the thing about Collingwood now is, especially with this, what this is showing me, they're asking for up here and then we'll meet halfway. Previously, we're not doing that. We're playing softball, and we get rolled over by teams all the time because we're Collingwood, because we've got that name, right? Leppich is going to play that hard ball, but also meet in the middle ball, right? And I love that. We're not going to get 13, 23, and 29. If we do, incredible. But negotiations always happens where this is what we want. Let's work down and get into a middle ground. Maybe there's a 3-0 trade between us, Gold Coast, and Port Adelaide to get all of these going. A mega trade, as Adam Cooney would call it. But that's the updates at the moment. Joe Richards wants out, wants to get to Port Adelaide. We're leading the race for Dan Houston. If we can get Gold Coast pick 13 for John Noble and that future first round draft pick. Let me know your thoughts down below. But until then, like, comment, subscribe. Tay family, Tay friends, Tay pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll sweep you later. So, oh shit, is that really loud? So you can close it, that's fine. No stress. I'm trying to be quiet anyway. No stress, I'm just yeah, no, I'm just gonna do it loud, now it's all good, yeah. No stress, no stress.